Hey, welcome everybody to Geek
Yay!
Talk. We're so excited today. We got a great episode for you guys. We got JP Cloud, yeah, and
Right.
Galactic Attack Victoria Intergalactic. I always think of the Beastie Boys every time I see your name. We're going to be talking some really cool stuff today, all about AI and all the great artwork that's coming out there, and some stuff that maybe isn't so great about AI. So let's just talk
Ooh.
about our experiences. You know, I've been making art. I know all you guys have been too. What do you guys think about it so far about the AI art?
I think so far for me, it's there's a lot of elements to it. What I'm finding for me, it's really therapeutic. It's helped me with there's been some days where I'll just kind of constantly be trying essentially not to have a panic attack, and I'll go to Midjourney, or previously before I got on Midjourney, I would go to these different Google
Oh,
collabs or even Wombo and
mm-hmm.
just create art and
Yeah.
express myself that way. And it was it took me out of that uh the kind of personal stress that I was going through. So it's been really interesting in that way to use it as a not only a therapeutic way, but just a like expression, like just it. Yeah, what do you guys think? Because it's interesting to see what the AI will come up with. I find myself a lot of times just putting in random words before
Yeah.
I get to a full prompt, just to see like what will you do with this word.
Yeah. Sometimes I hear a word like in a conversation that pops in my head like something and I go there quick before I forget it just to see
Yeah.
what will come out. Like, or I'm walking around, like today I was in the city, I was walking around, and if I see something in the streets and I'm like, it looks like this is like that infrared stuff, this image. Let me
Uh-huh.
try. And then I try
Yeah.
to come up with something like that. And like you said,
Yeah.
it's very like it's a therapy too. I found that myself. Like I go there and I start do one of another like images and comes a good results and motivates you to do more. And if you're stressed or like it goes away because it's coming up
Y-
like good stuff and you can express
yeah.
yourself too.
It's such an
It's amazing.
interesting thing.
Yeah.
I'd heard in the office talks they did in Midjourney, an office talk with one of the co-founders of Midjourney, and
Ooh.
he was talking
Uh-huh.
about how I think he said maybe 20 to 30% of the users are using it as art therapy, which I found
Wow, that's
Wow.
very,
awesome.
very interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, that I
that's
I read an
nice.
article on that guy, and it's
Yeah,
so
David.
interesting his background and stuff, and how he started doing the Mid Journey. And one of the interesting facts I found out is they're running like 10,000 servers right now. And if
Oh
Oh,
everybody
wow.
wanted to use AI art, there's literally not enough servers in the whole world for
yeah.
everybody to be able to make AI art. Isn't that crazy?
It's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yes, yeah. So talking about art therapy, so for the audience who don't know me, so I'm JP Cloud. I'm a Horizon Worlds creator in here, and I'm from Hong Kong. So in daily life, I use Horizon World as like a art therapy for myself. Because I enjoy I creating it's the process of
Hmm.
creating art inside
Yeah.
Horizon
Yeah.
Worlds that's helped manage my anxiety and stress.
Yeah.
So such as my time and also my world, life in chaos or broken peace, they are all talk about how to manage your suffering and pain, and also anti-war and anti-violence. And when I discovered Mid Journey maybe like 3 weeks ago. So I realized creating art, it doesn't have to just be limited to for different people for different purposes. Creating art doesn't have to like limited like hands-on art. Because
Hmm.
I'm a sculptor, I'm a sculptor in here and a bit of scriptor as well. And then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the process. You know, when you're in the zone, just like focusing doing just one
Yeah.
thing, that's the
In the
Yeah,
moment.
that's the
exactly. Yeah.
therapeutic effects of it. And
Uh-huh.
then AI art for people to translate what they see around them visually, and what they set, what their all their senses are open, what they see, what they hear, what they smells, and then they put it into
Hmm.
words, and then use AI to generate whatever their mental state is, that is at that moment. And I think
Yeah.
AI arts is very interesting because it feels like you're going to see a therapist, and then rather than therapist using words to explain it to you how you're feeling right now, like AI art just like shows it to you like
Yeah.
visually.
And yeah, and it
Yeah.
gives you an
Yeah.
image of that what you've put in. It's such a and it's not always what you expect
Yeah.
it to be
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, that is very
Yeah.
true. Yeah, it's not always what you expect it. Now for
Yes.
Horizon, have you tried to like let's say like, hey, give me a world in Mid Journey, right? Like do some kind of world there, and then take that as your inspiration into Horizon to do that hands-on sculpting and stuff. Have you tried that yet?
I actually, when I create a world, I never think of what do I want to create in Horizon world at that moment. It's more of like, how
Oh,
am I
interesting.
feeling emotionally? What's my
Uh-huh.
mental state at?
Yeah.
So for like the world time, I was gonna create like a building, a clock, but then because at that mental state, I was suffering like a lot of stress and anxiety from being away from home and also being separated from my loved ones, and then it kind of just spirals inside in the creation. It's more of every time when I create, it depends on my mental emotional states, and then I just create spontaneous like arts ideas just came to me like spontaneously.
Yeah, yeah.
So I haven't
That's really cool.
but I haven't tried using. I haven't tried to like bring in Midjourney AI, the arts I see inside into Horizon World yet. Although it's very inspiring because you know how when you're understimulated and then you just need to go to like you just have to go out for a walk or go to
Yeah,
museum or
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
gallery to to
Yeah,
get some
perfect.
See
Yeah.
stimulation
something.
for
Uh-huh.
inspiration. So I find
Mhm.
AI art right now, Midjourney is a bit like that for me. So I could, for me, like it helps me understand what I'm visually seeing inside my brain at that moment, and then maybe I'll pick something like bits and pieces and then make it into a world. But I haven't done that. Yes, maybe because my
Yeah.
emotional state haven't got to that yet. Because whenever I create, unfortunately, I have to say, it was always created out of trauma. So
Ah,
who
yeah.
knows? Maybe in the future,
Yeah.
there will be worlds that's create all inspired by Midjourney AI. But I feel very I love Midjourney AI because it's just it helps me translate what I see before I go to bed into like
Mhm.
visual images,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that's I
yeah.
find it
And
very
I find it
therapeutic as well.
it's really good for that. Yeah, for trying to even, like making your dreams come true. Like, like I always imagine like, you close your eyes and you see some really cool image, right? And you're like, "Oh, if I could just paint that perfectly." And every time you actually try to paint it with a paintbrush, it just doesn't come out that way. But with Midjourney, I guess it still doesn't come out the same way,
Yeah.
but it's a little faster iteration, so it helps you kind of get closer to it quicker, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
Also,
So,
it's like when you dream, then it's only when you can only get inspired if you can dream, right? I feels like Midjourney
mhm.
AI is a bit like that. It helps to inspire like your brain. Yeah, so that's how I feel about
Yeah. Yeah,
gener-
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
AI arts at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, and your
Very
worlds are
cool.
amazing, by the way. I had hoped to get into the other ones before I got here, but I couldn't get in at home, and I didn't have time before coming on here. But we did get to go check out Time, and it was funny
Yeah.
when you popped into the group chat. I was pretty active in the Geek Talk chat, and then you popped in. I was like, oh crap! I was like, this person is amazing, so talented. I was like, what am I even doing on this show anymore? And I was a little nervous. I was, and but
Ah.
I just, yeah, incredible work. And I think that some of the best work does come from, at least for me, a lot of the process is, it's like, it's not that I'm doing it for anyone else. It's that I have to do it so that I'm okay, so that I can get through my next day.
That is
And
Yeah,
just
that's
so
just
really what I,
like
interesting. And
it's
yeah.
like helping to get your negative energy out. You just have to
yeah,
release it. Yeah.
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 And I've always been that way since I was like 12. I remember if I went too long without drawing or creating something creative, this emotion would
Mhm.
build up to where I just felt like I was going to explode. But as soon as if I was able to just get it out, through something creative, that was the always the way that I could kind of manage things.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Very cool.
And
Very
do
cool.
you build here too in Horizon?
Yeah, I do. I've been taking a little break because I haven't had success at getting online at home. But yeah, so I have a few. I think I have a few worlds, and then I've got a world that's a biker world that I worked on with my friend Lovely So Lovin', and it's
Oh,
pretty cool.
really? A biker
You
world? Is
can,
it like
yeah,
motorcycles? Oh,
yep,
cool.
Wow.
yeah, yeah. It needs some work, but it's pretty fun. Like you get to go around a racetrack, and
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
wow.
we'll definitely show this too.
I have to check that out. Is it like Excite Bike? I always think about that Nintendo. Remember Excite Bike on the first Nintendo? And you go on the little ramps, and you do little
Nick was a
jumps and
rich
Mm,
stuff.
boy.
I
He
I
had nice
played
stuff as a
Nintendo, but I
kid.
don't remember that one. Nintendo was awesome. I
No.
don't remember that one though. I
Yeah.
remember Mario Kart. I think that was my
Oh
main
yeah, yeah. Mario
favorite.
Kart. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So what kind of
Cool.
art are you doing, Nick? You yourself,
Well,
like, do you
I've
have a
I've
style you're following, or are you open to all styles?
well, I have an art background, so I watched this thing on Netflix, this Andy Warhol thing, right? I don't know if you guys saw it. It's really good though. I've always been a fan of,
Ooh,
of Andy's. And I was just
yeah,
thinking, he kind of used like the tools in the 60s, like what was available, like silk screen and stuff like that. That was high tech back then. And the
Mhm.
the the interesting thing with the AI as well was that they took his diaries and then they used AI to make his voice come back. So like he's reading it to you,
whoa,
and it's like just like if he was there talking. And I was thinking, well,
Yeah.
what
huh,
else can AI do? Can it bring, I think the real promise of AI is it can make you immortal. It could bring you back, right? So one of my
yeah,
famous favorite painters was Claude Monet, from the Impressionist time. So I spent
yeah. He's
days,
been,
days just doing these water lilies and the prompts. It's not that easy. You think you put a prompt in to make it look the way you want, but um, from an abstract point of view, you do, but when you're trying to like replicate like what Monet would really paint, it's not really the same as just putting it in and seeing what comes out
Mhm.
because you want to see that. So actually,
yeah,
it took me like 8 hours at least to do it, and I finally got to a point where it actually felt like, hey, it gave me this feeling like, wow, this is like if Monet was here, this is like what he would paint. This is like, it feels like that.
Yeah.
At least to me. I don't know how it feels to other
yeah.
people, but you
I
know,
loved that.
um,
That was so cool.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's really, you know, um, as a painter myself, that's like I was always really into impressionism, even though like it seems kind of old school and stuff now, right? You see, water lilies or a Van Gogh, it's like really old school, but those guys were actually the punk rockers of their day. They didn't get into galleries, they didn't have shows in Paris. Everybody was against them. They were very hardcore back then. So it's just interesting, kind
Yeah.
of trying to bring that back with a new medium. So
Yeah,
so I've just been really trying to explore like that type of angle, and stuff.
Yeah.
So no particular style, just seeing like what can be done to bring emotion into it, like what
Yeah.
JP
yeah,
says is like how can I get my emotions out, in that way. And I think water lilies kind of, even though it's kind of abstract and stuff, you feel the emotion in it somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
It was funny because you had done all that stuff, and then I was on the Midjourney website, and I was like, oh, it must be Nick's thing, and it was someone else was doing impressionism. I don't know if
Oh,
you
cool.
started the whole thing after doing like 8 hours of it
Oh,
because, and
maybe.
then it wasn't only that, someone had done that, and then in the Discord and Midjourney they had for a daily theme impressionism, and that was all
Oh,
after you had
wow,
done
I didn't even see
your
that.
stuff.
That is
Oh
really
Wow.
Yeah.
wow.
cool.
You start a trend,
Awesome.
Nick.
Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome. I didn't even
Fancy.
know. I didn't even know.
Wow. Mid journey, notice Nick. Like
Mid-Jane.
clearly notice him. Don't steal his idea. Do you have
Well, they can steal our
a
ideas, but they can't steal our creativity.
Yep.
right? And do you have any um what is I forgot the word, any way that you follow your art, or you're open to everything too, or you have like a style that
Yeah,
you are kind of focused in?
no, I really kind of thrive on just going with the moment, and even the reels that I make,
Mhm.
it might surprise you, but I create the I don't even know what music I'm gonna put to it. I'll create all the
Oh
stuff
yeah,
for the
I'm like
reel.
that too. Yeah, I do this chick
Okay,
thing.
yeah,
It's uh-huh.
Yeah. And
and it
then
comes out
usually every now
some
and
good
again
stuff.
I'll have a music that's for it, but usually I go in and Facebook kind of gives me this,
Yeah, that
for you, and
list.
I'll
Uh-huh.
and I just kind of I'm like, nah, what does this one sound like? And a lot of time I'll find
Yeah, yeah.
interesting music that way.
It's really
Yeah,
cool.
So yeah.
It's like improv, right? I mean, that's the improv
Yeah,
of it all.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just off cuff. Yeah, it's fun
Mm-hmm.
to just go with the flow.
yeah.
Yeah, that reminds
And
me
do you have
of
a?
that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I
Oh,
was
I was
just
gonna
going to
say
check with her.
I was just gonna say real
I'll
quick. I
punch you,
was
Nick.
doing some stuff on lyrics. Like lyrics in your AI art.
Ooh.
So I was doing,
Yeah,
I like all the old goth music. So I was doing like old Bauhaus songs and stuff, and their lyrics are very surreal and stuff like that. It's
yeah,
like purple eyes and vampires and different
Yeah.
things. So I was really just putting the lyrics in and seeing what came out. That was really interesting too.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
It's
so
kind
cool.
of unexpected. You throw something and sometimes comes something so good, and
Yeah.
it's you just discover something new to do. And GP, do you have any style that you follow when you're doing art, or you're very open to more stuff
I'm
too?
very open to all styles because I actually never done anything creative until
Mm.
I started like this VR journey in
Yeah,
Horizon World. So before that, I'm just a cybersecurity auditor back in Hong Kong, and then I discovered Horizon World. So you can go through all my worlds. You can see there's like I think almost single world has like different styles because I think I'm still self-discovering. Although
Hmm.
yeah,
I'm not limited
Yeah.
to any styles. Yeah, so
yeah,
I just go with
Yeah.
it. Like when I'm feeling sad or depressed, and then I needed to get the negative energy out, I just hop into Rise World, maybe like 8 hours straight, 12 hours straight, just
Oh
Yeah.
like
wow.
get in the zone and see
Yep.
how different shapes comes in, how the lighting affects the mood of the sculpture, like how anything comes together in a world, and then just to get my nightmare out there. Yeah.
yeah,
So
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
very, very open to all different art styles. That's why I think Midjourney AI is a good way to help me to. For me, it is very inspiring because although like
mm-hmm.
most of the stuff they do, I would not because I don't think I could copy and paste it into Horizon World because it doesn't really fully represent my emotion at that moment because it's still a machine, right? But you can
It's a
take bits and
Yep.
concept. Yeah.
pieces. It's a concept. You
Yeah.
Hmm.
can take bits and pieces and then make it your own style. So it's very
Yeah.
helpful. Yeah.
So basically, in your worlds, if we go, we can see like phases of your life since you
Oh
started.
yes. Oh yes. So let's say okay. I always say like my world broken piece is my refugee journey part one, and then my time world is me struggling as a refugee in a foreign country, like
Yeah,
how I cannot adapt and stuff. So that time is like I would say like it's like chapter two, and then in chapter three I would say my world empty soul. It's like when all chaos is just finally settled down and all you could hear is just white noises and quietness around you. That's why I created
yeah,
Empty
Oh
Soul
wow.
the world. So it feels so I didn't realize that at that time, but I realized, all right, yeah, I was creating worlds that represents my state of mind and how
yeah,
how my life status at how I was feeling and what I'm experiencing at that time. So it feels like chapter one, chapter two, chapter three, so on. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I noticed like when I'm creating through the day, I can see my mood too. If I'm more quiet and stuff, I'm creating stuff more
Yep.
sometimes more dark or more not
Mm.
necessarily bad, but you can see until I was creating like funny stuff where I'm
Uh huh.
in a
The
part
Michael
of my
Jackson
day
thing
that
was cool.
I am laughing. Like I was laughing so
Did you
much.
try to do that? Was that, did you put in that, or did that just come out like a happy thing?
Oh no, I just came out like, if I would try to mix artists with dogs and cats and see what will
Uh-huh.
happen. So I
Oh,
started to do
cool.
like and some came out like
Hmm.
terrible, ugly, horrible. But then I start like and then came out like cute and very similar to the person, and I could not even look. Every time I looked at the thing, I would laugh so much. So it was so good because it was like a therapy in a
Yeah, it
very
was
high
like
level.
when
Just
you
get it
showed that
out. Yeah.
dog, I was like, oh, that is like Michael Jackson. Like I could see it right there. I'm like that,
You can
you
see
know.
him. You can see.
Yeah.
And there was
Uh-huh.
some that the dog is actually dancing in Michael Jackson's clothes. Oh my gosh, like I was laughing in the couch like, and here's so hot today, and laughing, and I'm like, that's not helping, like I'm even warmer here laughing this much. I even drop a TikTok before I came here. I put like in green screen the
Oh,
picture of
oh,
the
cool.
that I created, and
Uh-huh.
then I was just laughing and trying to explain what I was doing. I was like, I will not lose this moment. If I can share a little bit of laugh, let's do it. And it's so funny. So
Nice.
you can see like your moods through your creation. Sometimes
Mm.
not like
Yeah.
only phases, because I know worlds take more time. So you
Yeah,
get more
yeah.
like phases.
Yeah.
But in mid journey, sometimes you can pay attention in your day. Like if you start the day a little bit down, sometimes it's art's more
Yeah.
like expressing a feeling more lonely, more sad. But
Yeah,
then if you
yeah.
get like
Yep.
Uh-huh.
your mood start to go up and up, you start to create like more like funny stuff or cute. Like you create adorable stuff. Like every time
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
I
Oh yeah,
do,
they're
I
great
see your
the yeah, the
creators.
page.
characters, yeah. The
Oh
character
my
I
stuff,
god.
started
yeah.
I love those guys because I was having a really tough go and I just started creating those cute characters and it just kind of made me
Yeah.
smile like, "Oh my god, look at it. I want you."
It's
You know, and it helped
I
me kind
know.
of come out of that
Yeah.
that stress. You just look at something you made and you go, "Oh."
You just
yeah,
It's
you
cute,
looked
smile.
at
yeah.
That's what is
adorable
important.
creation.
Yeah. You needed something to cheer, cheerful, like so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that provides for you. So that's art. Art like uh, you know makes people
Feeds the
resonate
soul.
at that moment.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
feel something
Yeah.
out of it. You know, there's
Yeah.
Feel
a
something
lot
out
of
of it.
AI art I see that it doesn't feel like any emotion, but I'd say with you
Mhm.
guys and your art, it really, I feel the emotion in it, and that's why I love it so much, you know. So keep it up. I think it's
Thank
just
you.
going to get better and better as the AI evolves. And
Yeah.
one
Yep.
thing I do want to talk about, maybe with JP, I don't know how you feel about this, is that I know Facebook is working on an AI, and I think they have it in beta where you can just basically say, "Oh, make me a couch, make me this, make me that," and it's going to just make the world for you. Um,
Wow.
how do you feel about that? It's kind of like doing the same thing it does for us painters. It's like now it's taking
Yeah.
your job away in a way. Do you think that that's going to help you or hinder you as you build?
I actually need more details on that. What is that? I've
Oh,
never
okay.
heard of it.
Yeah, yeah. The
If you care, explain. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, they'd had a beta where, the Zuck had this, AI that makes 3D models for it. So you say, hey, I want a beer, and then it will make its version of a beer for you. Or, in your case, you want like, some lights here or something. It will go ahead and do its version, kind of like the way Midjourney works, but in 3D, which is really
Oh,
interesting for in Horizon Worlds. And I know that some builders were kind of on the fence about that. Everybody's trying to
Yeah.
get verified with their building badge and stuff. And then here comes Facebook coming in. It's like, oh, well, you actually don't need that anymore. You're just gonna just speak into the AI, and it's gonna do it for you eventually.
and they're gonna implement that into Horizon World?
Yeah, that's where the beta was implemented. I don't know when it's coming out though, but that's where it was implemented. Yeah.
I never heard of that. Actually, I would
Yeah.
love to see what AI could do inside Horizon World. I think it's not a bad idea. Because we all
Hmm.
have our own style. I don't think anyone could recreate my world time using AI. I think
Yeah.
I think if they do implement AI into Horizon World, it's a good template, but I think that if they
Yeah.
required, but people normally hire people to build because they like the creator or they like the creator's particular style. I think that,
Yeah.
and our style is based on our emotion at that time. So I don't think that could be completely replicated. I'm not against it. I think it'll be a good template, and also it helps people
Yeah.
to learn how to build and how to use of space inside Horizon World as well. I think it'll be a good educational. It'll be good for educational purposes. But I don't have. I can't give much comments on that because I haven't seen it how it works
You
in
haven't seen the video.
Horizon
Yeah. Yeah.
World yet. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how it works out. Yeah, because artists very particular, very specific, like Van Gogh, Monet, Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
I think they all have their own very specific style because based on their personality. And I actually don't think AI could replicate that because personality wise is the
Yeah.
data is not quantifiable, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And their life experiences is kind of what makes that personality. Like I know
Yeah.
with Monet, some of
Yes.
his best paintings at the end were the way they were is because he was going blind. You know, he couldn't
Yes.
see. But
Wow.
Wow.
that's why they look
Yeah.
so abstract up close. You know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so
it's
I'm
interesting.
not against AI going to Horizon World, but I'll be actually interested to see what it's capable of.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because I'm interested in that too. I think with Midjourney and stuff that it's going to go that way too. Because, um, with the character stuff, right? It's like I think the next
Yeah.
step is to tap AI. Like, okay, now make this into a 3D model for me. And that
It
way,
would be
in that
amazing
case,
have
it has
3Ds
actually
of
a blueprint because it can just take the
your
image, right?
cute.
Also,
Yeah.
there's problem with AI I think AI generative art is still very early stage, because right
Yes. Yeah.
now whether it's Wombo or
Uh
Midjourney,
huh.
when people say, "Oh, I created art and posted onto social media," you can tell it's created
Yeah, you
from
Yeah.
can tell.
AI.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
I do
So
like
I
that
think
though.
the
I like
key
that you
thing
can
is,
tell.
how do you make it your own style? I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into
That's
that. How
how
do you make it your own? Yeah.
Yeah, how to
Yeah.
make it your own style instead of people like see it and say, "Oh, that's created by AI." But is it your does it have a piece of you, or like how to
Yeah.
express that
Yeah.
Is
visually?
that Yeah, is that prompt the piece of you? I've been trying to share some of my prompts and stuff and my emotions in it as well. And
Yes.
Yeah.
and I
Like
know
how do you
Lindsay, you've been
show it to
doing
people?
reels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can if you take it and you put it into reels or something else, then you're elevating it then more than just that
Can really
image that
provoke
comes
some
out.
interesting emotions. Yeah,
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
adding that extra element to it.
Yeah, I think that's
Mhm.
like the next revolution of AI, how to make it more human, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm curious, how did you guys, because I know for me, when I first heard about AI art, I was put off by it. Like I was like, no. And I think it was a very egoic response. I think it
Yeah.
was kind of
Uh-huh.
this
Yeah.
egoic response of no, because how dare, this computer make something better than I could do with my hands. But as soon
Right,
as I
right.
tried it, I was hooked, and I as soon as I tried it, I understood like it's not it's like it's different than that. And I know you can't really, I don't know how to express it in words unless you try
Yeah.
it, because you really
Yeah.
I know
can go
there's
down
a
these
lot of debate
variations
about
and
that. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
love it.
you
Yeah.
know,
I just love it.
yeah.
It feels like I'm walking into a massive museum of endless artworks that I could just look at and just get
Yeah.
inspired. Yeah, because like what you see, like how you experience, that also that also stimulates your brain, and then your brain will tell you,
Yeah.
okay, wow, now you're very inspired. Go create something, and then also help you to create
Yeah.
anything that's inspired by their
Yeah.
artwork, but you make it your own style as well. So yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and the different
Mm.
AIs are interesting too. So I do Midjourney, and then when I run out of my subscription hours there, I go to Wombu because I have a subscription there, and it's different type of art that you're making, each time.
Yep.
Like, I think Wombu is more like abstract in a way, so it's really good for some
Yeah.
impressionist stuff.
Yep.
Um, and then Midjourney is more better for character art for me, or something like that, or tarot cards or whatever I'm working on. So
Mm.
I think you can kind of take those things. I actually one time I do one AI and then I put it through the other AI, and I think it was a Midjourney piece to Wombu because you can add like a picture that it will use as data,
Yep.
and you see what happens. It didn't come out so good, but it's just an interesting process, I
It's
think,
worth
to
to
see how you
try.
can change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you can make it your own, right?
Explore.
It's a
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a journey. And the process as well, like the process you're trying to figure out the right prompts for the right image. That's
hmm
also like a part of creation
that's
as
the
well. It's
art,
like making
right?
music. Yeah, the creation process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost
Do
like
you
a
And
poem,
guys
like you're
that's
making a
important.
poem visual.
Yes.
yeah.
yeah.
Do you guys retouch your art? Like if you really like that piece but some
hmm
stuff are off, do you get that and
So
you
Yeah,
retouch yourself?
I want to, but
I do.
so I don't think that I killed my iPad with AI, but I might have. Like I might
Oh,
have
really?
run my iPad died. Like it's been dead for over a month. It doesn't work. I think it was just faulty, but for a good like week there I was like, yeah, I just ran, one of those Google collabs on it and killed my iPad. But
Oh,
I don't think
really?
it
Oh,
Oh
did.
wow.
my.
Yeah, so once
Oh,
I get it and by the way, I don't think that it works that way. So you guys know, I think
No,
like
probably
my,
not,
my
because
iPad
because the
was
collab runs
faulty.
on the net. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say
No, it
it
was
runs
just
on a cloud server.
Yeah.
yeah, it was me and my brain thinking that like all the power was being taken out of my iPad, and then afterward I learned more and I was like, "Oh no, that's not how it works at all." But yeah, so
Well,
Just
I
how
maybe
you
want
learn.
to,
Wampu
but I
runs
just
local.
does it?
It might. I mean, I wouldn't see why you couldn't on a new iPad, like
Yeah.
run those models locally.
Mhm.
Yeah, true. But I would like to retouch stuff. I just yeah, I just don't have the thing to do it right now. So I'm
Yeah.
looking
Okay.
forward to exploring in that way because I do have Procreate on the iPad. So I think particularly
And
with some of
Photoshop
these
and
AI
yeah.
images, yeah, Photoshop, like being able to kind of like smudge. I like smudging things into
Yeah.
clouds. So like maybe some of
Hmm.
these character arts to kind of smudge hair into clouds, or just adding
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
little twist
Like
on things.
retouching. Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you too like make you level up the quality of the
Yeah.
pictures,
You make it your own.
the
Yeah.
art, right?
Yeah, exactly. Then it's yeah, so oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, the upscaler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it takes the
And
regular
what's that
size
tool
and
called? The upscaler
it's
tool?
called
Just so the audience knows.
Topaz Gigapixel AI, and it's fantastic. It's $100, but you can run it locally on your computer. Once you download it, it's done, and you can batch 100 photos and then just sit your computer off to the side, and
Wow.
it will resize all of your things to up to 6 times the size. And it
Wow.
also
Oh.
it's AI, so what it does is it fills in these pieces. Like it kind of does the same thing that Midjourney
Oh,
does, but on a
cool.
much
Mm-hmm.
just on a different level and a different different respect, different AI. Yeah, and they also have a video one that they have, so it's
Oh,
two
that's
hundred dollars.
cool.
I don't know if I'll get that
Oh,
this
for the
year, but
video? Wow.
I'm thinking
Wow.
about it
Wow.
because they add in extra frames, like so that you can kind of create this nice slow motion.
Oh.
Like if you filmed a
Wow.
real an actual waterfall, um, I've seen video footage of a waterfall, and then they ran it through this AI, and it slows it down in a believable way. So that was very
Wow.
interesting
Interesting.
to learn about.
That's nice to know. Like sometimes we don't know about these programs and stuff, and it's when you see like your creations and stuff, and you'll be like, "How she make that?" Like brings you interest in the subject and
Yeah, yeah. Because
inspires
you can
you
tell
to
you brought more
create.
to it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
very
add your
nice.
own
Oh,
color to it. That's what.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 and
I
to be
yeah.
normally
fair, like I
retouch
have no idea what
eyes.
I'm doing. I'm just,
Oh,
you
one
know,
thing
Oh,
that's
but
an
you're doing
easy tool to
amazing.
use. An easy tool, like on Midjourney, Midjourney they have sometimes the faces don't come out so good, or you have a double nose
yeah.
or whatever. So there
Yeah.
you can get Facetune, just like you would like for your own face, right? The app Facetune too, and you can actually use that on your Midjourney photos, and
I
you can
haven't
change
tried
the
that
nose.
yet.
I did that for some of mine, where the girls with the gummy bears and the tattoos. I made her nose. I
Nice.
fixed her nose, made her eyes bigger.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You could add glows and all that. So it's a really cool tool. I think it's $35 a year, something like that. But there's a free trial. Or you
Okay.
can use
So can
Photoshop
you
if you have that.
are you able to move like because sometimes the eyes are one up and one down. The rest of the
Yeah, you
image
can
is
move them around.
perfect.
Yeah, you can
So you
move
can
them around.
actually
You can
go
make the
and
nose bigger. Yeah, you can do all
yeah,
that
but
stuff.
you can level up the eye. That's a very important question because the eyes sometimes are not in the level. Can you
Yeah, I
level up
believe you
them?
can. I believe you can. I believe you can. So if you
That's
have a
the
lazy eye in real life, you can fix it.
yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want because sometimes the image is so good, but the eyes are so off. Like
Yeah,
one eye is in the
a
chin
little
and the
bit.
other
Yeah,
eye is in the forehead,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
feel like what? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so you
So
can
it's
fix those type of things. Yeah, and the blemishes, like, sometimes like the mouth has a weird line in it or something.
yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't do bodies. You still have to kind of go to Photoshop, because I think, with the body types stuff, like I did one where, the leg is like, there's the second leg, and you're like, oh, I
Oh
gotta clone that out,
Yeah.
that type of thing. So that's like
yeah.
a Photoshop thing you have to do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hard when you want to. Sorry,
Hey, that was
nobody
my
saw that.
beer.
When you want to create like dogs and cats, like standing up or something like that, it's always missing a leg or having
Yeah,
four
Yeah,
legs.
they're
right.
working on
Uh-huh.
that. They're
It
working on that.
it's so hard to
Yeah.
get like four legs, or you get three, or you get an extra
Yeah.
one.
That was
An
a
extra
funny
one.
thing they had in the office hours this last week. Was they were talking about kind of, do you want to make things super realistic? And David H, I think, is what it goes by on Discord. He was saying that he doesn't want it to be like photorealistic, like you're, kind of
Mhm.
Yeah.
like deep fakes, that are there. But if you put in a dog, you're gonna get four legs. So I think that they're working towards, not
Yeah,
not having the
not
legs
like
be
a
weird.
alien when you ask for a
Yeah.
dog and comes a dog with 8 legs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of the other four, the extra four. So, but if the
yeah.
face is very good, you just use the face, you know?
Yeah, use the face
So,
tune, and you can add glows, you can make the eyes bigger, the lips bigger, the nose smaller, whatever you want to do. And that's
yeah.
that's what I found out. And I actually found it out because this guy was doing stuff on Wombo, where these look like
Huh.
real, like, Renaissance portraits. Like, it looked like like Rembrandt or somebody did these. They're so perfect, and you're like, how did he do it? And he's like, oh, I use Facetune to fix all the faces up.
Oh.
You know,
Oh,
Huh.
okay.
I
so
kind
it's
of
pretty
That's
cool.
an awesome tip.
yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Yeah, I kind of actually quite enjoy the imperfection of the photos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
brings
do as
it.
well
True.
sometimes.
I actually,
Sometimes,
Like
yeah.
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 Because I don't know, I quite enjoy the imperfection. It's more because maybe because it's abstract. I like abstract, so I kind of
Mhm.
just let it be,
Yeah.
for myself. Yeah, but because
Yeah,
but that's only because I it's just we just have different art styles. I create in Horizon World, and then you create art in using Procreate and generated art and other tools that I've known I don't know yet, but would love to know more about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
I also like the imperfections. I tend to lean more towards I mean, now I try as a challenge to get things without imperfections in Midjourney. But I
yeah.
do enjoy seeing the imperfections because one, if I put it out there, it's not an actual person. And two, you can
Yeah.
kind of tell that
Mhm.
it's made through Midjourney. And I like that. I don't That's why I always tag Midjourney in my
Mm.
stuff. I don't want anyone to think,
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm just drawing, I'm not putting it out there like that. And
Yeah.
if I do draw something, I'll be like, I actually made this
I think
with
that,
my,
yeah, that
I
that
think
goes
I'm
back
just
to
a
that
yeah, sorry.
oh, sorry, what you guys were talking about before, how you felt like, that ego, like, oh, I didn't make this.
Yeah.
But when you just submit to it and you put made with Midjourney, then you
Yeah.
just all that goes away, right?
Yep. Because
Hey,
it's
I
like,
made it with AI.
Alright,
yeah.
Yep.
okay, I want to clear up my reason. I think because I sadly I think I'm a I like the trauma because when I see imperfection in a photo, I feel relatable. I could resonate with the objects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's why I really like the. This sounds so like crazy, or maybe I'm such a sad person, but I like seeing like there are broken pieces or missing pieces in the photos or imperfection because life is hard and you can resonate with the
Yeah.
photo.
Yeah.
I feel
You
very
can,
I
you
feel
can.
there's a healing process, like healing feeling for me when I see
Yeah.
that photo using the
Yeah.
Midjourney AI. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's
Instagram
more
is already full
emotion
of
provoked
perfection.
as well.
I know Instagram is too perfect. I
Yeah,
don't
right.
like it. When I
Yeah,
see it,
Instagram-
it's
we
like,
are-
yeah, I just want to
Yeah.
We are
swear.
already
It's like,
full of perfection, so
I know.
we-
yeah.
we appreciate when it's not perfect. The only problem
Yeah,
when
when it's
I
not
make
perfect,
like
right.
a cute gremlin in his neck
Gremlin.
is that he has another one getting born there. So probably he ate
Oh,
after
yeah, like
midnight.
here.
Yeah, he probably ate
Yeah.
after midnight, so that's
Oh,
why he
yeah,
has
right.
another one coming out. But
Hmm.
yeah, he's so cute. But then he has like little teeth and one eye coming out of the neck. You just ignore that part. But it would be nice if he had a nice neck. But when it comes to people, yeah, sometimes I appreciate the imperfection. Sometimes I get upset. I was like, it's
Yeah,
my
you're like,
beautiful
"Oh, man."
gremlin.
Yeah.
Why there's
That's
teeth
fair.
and
That's
an
fair.
eye coming out there?
That's
It's
when
so
you have to use
cute.
Photoshop to like fix it
Yeah.
up.
Oh
you
no,
know?
he's out like that because he just ate after midnight. So he's just
Oh,
like
okay. That makes sense.
I accept him how he is.
Aw. Yay. So I have one more question on the AI. So let's say we're 40 years in the future and the robots are doing everything for us. One day they might wake up and say, "Hey, I'm tired of picking France tomatoes. I'm not going to do it anymore." What do
Yep.
we do then? Huh? Do you think it will get to this point where AI will become the slave basically and wake up and rebel? You know, kind of like
I'm-
Terminator. Do you think we'll get there?
I'm kind of nervous about it, to be honest. Like that's why, like every now and then, like I'll test Midjourney and I'll put in things like, you know, like I think it was like, what did I put in? The AI, the world and the vision of artificial intelligence, and it was funny because at the time, I was using this stylized code, and it there's something a little bit wrong with it. So all I was getting was these images of like the world, and then like what looked like explosions and kind of dust, and I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god, the AI doesn't like us, the AI doesn't like us, and then like I'd get like one photo that was
Right.
gorgeous and beautiful. So that was a little frightening, but then once I figured out it was just a glitch, I was like, okay, that makes me
Or
feel a
was
little
Or
it?
better.
maybe it's the multiverse.
Or was it? Yeah,
It's the-
I know.
It's a multiverse. You have where they rebel, and you have where they are friends.
Where are they
think-
friends? Like in Star Wars, where they're friends?
Yeah.
It's, I mean,
This is
well,
why
the
you need a
thing is
reset
that-
button in all of
When they
Well,
rebel,
like,
you're
like-
like,
Yeah, reset.
Yeah. You might have like one AI because the AIs look so different and work so differently. You know, like if you want to enter a prompt into Midjourney, you have to word it differently than if you want the same thing out of a different AI.
Yeah.
So
AI.
you know, at
Yeah.
some
Like
point,
yeah. Exactly.
we're gonna
Uh-huh.
have multiple AIs. So it's like we could have an AI that's like, yes, we will save the world. Then we could have an AI that's like, we are gonna destroy all of you. And it's so yeah. I don't know. I'm a little worried, but you know, I have no idea.
Time
We'll
will
see
tell
what
us.
happens.
Time
Yeah,
will tell.
time.
time will tell.
Well,
Time
we
will
have
tell for sure.
many AI already, isn't it? Like on
Yeah.
Google search, knowing what's your interest is, like give suggesting
Yep.
stuff for you to look at.
Yeah.
And
I
then you have
know.
AI in Amazon, like suggesting based on your shopping experience and your age
Oh
and your
my
gender.
Yeah, it's
You know,
so
like, you know,
Yeah.
is influencing. Like it's influence. It's like
Oh,
giving
and it's
you
kind of scary
temptation
too. Like,
already.
is it like is Alexa listening to me? Oh, don't you say anything. But because I was doing this tarot art, you know, and I didn't. I was doing tarot cards and then art in Midjourney, and then like my wife goes on Amazon and it's like all it's all these tarot decks. She's like, "Were you looking for tarot
Just hope
decks?"
this is
I'm like,
recording.
"No."
I'm scared that it's not,
Why
you
are these
know.
tarot decks showing up?
Ooh.
because she was
Yeah.
eavesdropping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
You
did.
know?
because I
Wow.
I come from a country that everybody's like highly surveillance. So
Oh
that's why
yeah.
yes,
It's-
that's why. But that's why I don't have Alexa, and I turn off my Google assistants. Like I don't have that kind of stuff. And it's just yeah, I think
Yeah, I don't
because
have Alexa either.
based on personal experience,
Oh, wow.
there's just fear. Yeah, in
I
from
would
my
love to
personal
hear more about
experience.
that in another Geek Talk about that whole
Yeah.
experience of living in that kind of society. Because coming from a California native, even though there is surveillance going on, it's just like
California native.
you don't live like that. It's like not the same thing, and
Yeah,
it's
we're,
just like so interesting to me to see how how you guys were feeling and how you feel living like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good to know.
Cool. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Some new projects you're working on before we close it up?
Oh yeah,
I-
I'm working. Oh, sorry. May I start first?
You
So
go first.
I'm recently hired by a company called Born Studio. Yay!
Oh, awesome.
And we have like an office. We're already building like different like office worlds for like clients, and we have like brand partnership and stuff. And yeah, if I have more news, I will give out as well. But yeah, please pay attention. No, what's the word for it? Yeah, look for in the future, please pay.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye out
What's the
for it.
word?
That
What's
sounds
the English?
awesome.
Yeah, that's the word for it. Like, please keep an eye out for Born Studio. We have many more crazy
Awesome. I can't
projects
wait to see
coming.
what you guys are making. Very
Yeah,
cool.
That's nice.
Yes.
Do you have
and
any
for me,
projects coming?
like kind of like I said, I just kind of go with the flow. So I don't ever know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm doing, and even projects that I have in my mind, they don't necessarily happen on a timeline that's scheduled. So
Yeah.
if you want to see what I'm doing, you can follow me on Galactic Geek on Facebook, and
Oh yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
love
guys.
your artwork. Yeah, I don't know how
I
you
love
came up
your
with those
artwork.
prompts to come up with such cute creatures. It's like
Aw,
you need to
thank
share
you.
with me sometime. I love
Yeah.
creatures. I always create
I
a
will
lot
share.
of like different fantasy animals in Horizon Worlds.
Yeah.
Oh, I have some cool things to share with you then.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Do you have a page that we can follow you so everyone that is watching can look for your work too?
Yeah, I can. Oh, for my page?
Yeah.
I have my Instagram. So it's the same as JP Cloud, as my username, JP_Cloud. Yes. I post all my, it's like
Alright,
a portfolio
awesome.
page. I post all my artworks on it. Yeah.
Sweet.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us today and going
Thank you,
deep
thank
into
you.
this
Thank you for
interesting
having us.
subject. Stay tuned for the next episode of Geek Talk, where we go even deeper into something really deep. Catch you later, guys. Thanks for watching.
She was there!
She was there the whole
was there the
time.
whole time.
Hey!
Yay!
Get her!
We go take
Get her! Get her! Get her!
Spy.
She's spying on
For
us.
the invite.
You're talking to
You
me?
pointing at Fran or me? Yeah.
Are you
Yeah, you can do it.
Are
Okay.
you talking to me? At least doing something a little different, even though we don't have like a big TV screen.
Scared me.
Yeah. By the way,
I forgot someone was here.
stop moving. And